Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to Dendrick's Evening Toy, the channel that puts on a tough exterior, but deep down just really wants to be loved. Alright, look, I'm gonna level with you guys. I've developed some kind of sick obsession with the battle chargers, Runabout and Runamuck. And I've been trying to make a custom of them, since we don't really have any official versions except for the FunPub exclusives. And there was sort of been an attempt at Runabout before. So what inspired this was when they came out with the Combiner Wars version of Runabout. Whom I have here. In North America we got Blackjack, but in Japan he was Runabout, or Runabout. And I managed to get one. I had a friend to go to Japan but couldn't find one because he's an idiot, so I ordered one from Amazon from a very lovely seller who sent this along with a piece of origami and a handwritten note. I mean, Japan, right? Wow. Those guys are so awesome. Yeah, so he was cool and I was like, great, I'll snatch him up and I'll wait for Runamuck to come out. And guess what? He's an exclusive. A Million Publishing exclusive. Comes with a magazine that nobody buys. I mean, could they have made it more difficult to get him? No. And, you know, he's part of a pair. God, it just makes me so angry. Anyway, so I'm never going to get him. Because it's going to cost me like $100. And it comes with a book that I don't want. Well, the book will be okay. And a figure I don't want. So, sorry buddy, you're going to be alone. So yeah, my idea was to paint, was to customize one of these guys. It's kind of going to be hard to paint white on black, but then I found these oversized knockoffs, which were great. So I ordered a couple from Sir Toys. I tried to get this cool 6-pack, and it got away from me, which was a good thing because I did later get the 6-pack, and they're good, but they don't have any elbow joint. Well, they have an elbow twist, but you can't really bend his elbow. I think it's PVC. These are pretty bad quality. I mean, if they're just gonna stay on the shelf, I could paint them up and do it, but I decided, you know what, I got these, and these colors, it reminds me of the enemies from the Transformers Devastation video game, so I think I'll use them for that instead. So, but anyways, when these were not available, instead I got a higher quality couple of knockoffs of these guys. So I did this one first, and this looks okay, I think. But this paint went on, I did several coats of a very thick paint to get the white on top of the black. And you can see the results. So I ended up breaking, I ended up painting these joints together, and then I broke them, so he's pretty much stuck in this mode. Well, he will transform. I will transform it carefully off camera and show it to you in the robot mode. The black version came out much better. This one is still intact. I can transform it properly, although it's a bit sticky. Came out okay. And then I had some other ideas of what to customize. Now, to make a battle charger, it needed to meet certain criteria. It needed to have a windshield that became his abdomen, and it needed to have a hood of the car that became his feet, or at least resembled it. These actually don't meet that because these feet are the back end of the car. So I found out, hey, this Transformers Prime Wheeljack mold, which is awesome, but not really my preferred Wheeljack, would fill in pretty well. The hood becomes the feet, and he's got sort of a faux windshield that becomes. So I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll part swap. I thought instead of painting the whole thing white, I will kit bash it together. So I took I took my Wheeljack mold here mostly, and then I tried to take these orange pieces, which resembled the Battle Charger. I took these off of the crazy dead-end repaint of this figure. But this figure is almost entirely assembled with pins. And I had a bitch of a time getting these pins out. It was all... I had to use a hammer and a nail set to try to knock these pins out. And I ended up destroying a lot of the joints in the process. Either assembling or reassembling them. So you can see like these... Basically the legs no longer attach. So big mistake. Didn't work. And then I also made a paint error here where some of the white oversprayed the windshield, so I painted black on it. It should be black anyway, but I was hoping to leave it this blue, so I gotta fix that. It's not great, but you know, the concept was sound. I'm just a really shitty customizer. Now on the other hand, the black paint coats nicely. You can almost do I think it was just 2 coats of black. This was on top of, I bought the shelf warming exclusive Dark Energon Wheeljack for this one. And that worked out much better because he was red in the right places. He had the red translucent windshield, which is awesome, and black just covered up all the rest. And he has got some red details in there as well. So this came out I'm pretty happy with this one. And then I wasn't sure, I should probably paint the back here to match this one, but I just put some red tape on there for now because I wanted to shoot this video. So this one works just fine actually. I can transform him back and forth all day, and I'll show you that one. I haven't painted his taillights yet like I did for this guy. So I'm pretty happy with that one. He should have white wheels, but I don't know if I like that look now that I've done it so many times. So anyways, after I got that one almost finished but didn't have that one yet, I realized that there was this tiny Bumblebee mold that would work well as well. And it comes in a Night Ops version. So I did a small version. These are really too tiny to be viable options, but they kind of work. I need to put some Decepticon symbols on them. I just took a paint pen and he just had a stripe I had to paint over and then paint the red windshields. I left some of the silver bits. So, yeah. And then, and also after I had done those, then I saw that that there's a new Bumblebee coming out, and in fact I could have bought him the other day when I was at HS3 and up, but I waited. I think this would make a good Runabout and Runamuck as well, because he's got the feet and windshield criteria that I mentioned earlier. So I'm probably going to buy 3 of those, so I have a Bumblebee and a Runabout and a Runamuck, and they're already redoing him as a Chase, so one of the throttle bots, so I guess I'm going to buy him 4 times over, and FML. I hate myself, but yeah. So I'll do those customs, and then as soon as I finish those, they'll probably do an official release. So now I have battle chargers in 3 different scales, going on 4, for characters that I'm not even that crazy about, because I'm a crazy Transformers man-child superfan, and I need help. So let me get these guys transformed, and we'll see how bad they look in robot mode. Okay. My hands hurt after doing that. That was painful. Okay, so you can see my my mixed levels of success here, but they are in robot mode now. So again, in the middle there's the Transformers Prime versions on the outside. So yeah, Runamuck here. By the way, it always bothered me that they spelled Runamuck the wrong way. It should be Amok, not Amuck. Anyway, yeah, his legs didn't really survive, and this one's arms didn't survive. The little guy came out all right. The, you know, the Prime, this one here, the Prime Wheeljack as Runabout. God, this is really difficult. He came out fine. He transforms like a dream, like good as new. Although I was careful not to paint his joints like I did with the other one. I did a few passes with the black spray can, and then I did the rest by hand, the small fiddly parts, and he works out just fine. And this guy is not too bad, except the black paint, it gets kind of sticky. Protective coat on top also helps, but then again it gets in the joints and tightens things up. It's too bad. I really like the look of this one, but with that paint, the white paint, it's not so glossy, even though it is a gloss paint. I like the look of it, but maybe if I glue them back together and just keep them in one mode, that might work out. I think that's about the right size for him. I wouldn't want him any bigger than these, at least. I was also thinking of doing a masterpiece custom, which would be a huge mistake for someone like me. But doing the tracks, masterpiece tracks, remolds, loud pedal. Loud pedal would be a good runabout, I think. Yeah, I clearly don't have the skills or talent to do that. So my advice for anyone if you're not a customizer and you're thinking about doing some customs, is be good at it, have some talent, or practice on some knockoffs and cheap crap that doesn't matter, or you just do it in black. It's much easier just to paint something black because it covers up everything, and yeah, it's pretty easy. So all I had to do for this guy, all I did is disassemble the head so that I could paint the eyes red, or keep them red rather. Well, it's light piped red, but they kind of disappear into the black paint. And other than that, I just had to, I masked these off. They were already red. I painted these red by hand, painted this red by hand, and that's, yeah, everything else I talked about. So this was definitely the most successful one. I'm pretty happy with that. By the way, the Wheeljack mold also comes with swords. So I can't decide if I want to use these green ones that came with Dead End, or these bronze colored ones that came with the Dark Energy on Wheeljack. And this looks cooler, actually, but these look more like lightsabers, so I'm not sure. And I guess he's not getting a sword because neither of these really go. So yeah, this one I'm happy with. By the way, these are supposed to spread apart for transformation, but to make it look more like the G1, I'm just keeping them together, and I need another coat of red paint on those. So yeah, he's pretty good. This one's alright. This little guy came out fine, honestly. He's okay. This is the only official one I can show for comparison. So there they are. Quite a miserable looking bunch. but there you go. So I just wanted to show that more for the idea, if anything else, just to maybe somebody else watching this has a bit more talent and can pull this off better than me. That'd be great. If you have any customs like that, show me. Link to them, talk about them. I'm happy to hear about it. If you got some cool customs you want to show off, leave a comment, put a link to it. I'd be happy to hear about it. I know there are some of these that are already done. I looked at some pictures online as for reference, so it's not like I'm the first one to think of it. But I don't know if all of these molds have been painted into the battle chargers. What I could have done is just ordered some G1 battle chargers. It probably would have been cheaper than this motley crew of knockoffs I've got here. But let's be honest, the G1 battle chargers look pretty awful. The gimmick was just that they transform themselves. So yeah, I really do hope that we'll get official versions of them at some point. I think it'd be kind of cool to have them in the collection. They've been overlooked. Those old Fieros, they were put to good use in the IDW comics years ago, so it'd be nice to have them in the collection. Anyway, there are my miserable, horrible customs. As always, thanks for watching, and thanks for watching.